Welcome back to Pop Modern Plays. Here we are Hearthstoning as the Isle of Keldanos to move on to our next mount run, which is actually the one that I mentioned in the last episode, which is Tempest Keep. So chronologically, we're going backwards to when players originally fought Kael'thas Sunstrider. He was the final boss of Tempest Keep. Once again, we have Hearth to the Shrine of Seven Stars in Pandaria. We're going to take the portal to Shattrath again. I have a feeling I go the long way here. Oh no, I went the short way. Okay, good. So, yeah, once again. Oh, no, maybe not. I was a foolish child when I recorded these like a month and a half ago. Or, no, it's 2 months now. This is being recorded in February. I don't really want to ruin the magic of these recordings because I am not even recording all of these dubs in the same day, so it's a little weird temporally, but you're going to get them all one a day. Once again, we find ourselves in the portal room and shrine. We're going to be going to the Exodar at some point, but not now. I don't think so. Okay. And you can obviously see trade chat as being stupid back when people used to be in trade chat and shrine. Yeah. Warlords of Draenor has been an interesting expansion because one of the biggest criticisms that I sort of agree with is that they have taken out a lot of what was social about the game and what made it massively multiplayer. Oh, here you can see me on my Ironbound Proto-Drake, which is from the meta achievement from the Ulduar raid, which I did with a couple friends, I think a week or two before this recording. That's a fun one, but that's not worthy of a video because it requires you to get a bunch of achievements, and it took us more than one run, and it's not very fun. But it's a cool mount. Anyways, yeah, so I'm going to be flying to Netherstorm to Tempest Keep, which I just point to myself at, and then I fly as high as it can go. You can see my view distance is set to very low because I play this game on a laptop, and then you just hit numlock to auto fly, and you just go. And then I think I just talked here for a while. I don't think it was anything important. But yeah, so while we do that, this is probably a good time for me to just offer some opinions on the newest expansion. It's been weird because this new garrison system, I guess, basically lets everybody have an instanced version of sort of the closest thing this game has to player housing, because you can pick where you want your buildings to go, and each of your buildings does something different for your character, and you know, they all are meant to cater to how you play the game. So some of them require you to leave the garrison, like the barn, which requires you to capture caged animals in Draenor, and most of them actually are just like profession buildings. So say you're an alchemist. This is me throwing away the trash from the other dungeons. Say you're an alchemist. If you make like an alchemy lab, you can get reagents, give them to the alchemy guy, and he'll make you stuff. It's kind of devalued professions in a way because anybody can make any profession building, but having the same building as your profession speeds things up tremendously. So on this character, I have a herb garden, which everybody gets. The herb garden and the mines and the fishing shack, I believe, are the three universal buildings, as well as the town hall, obviously. But yeah, so there's that, and also the fact that once you finish questing, once you're at level 100, there like isn't a good hub city anymore. The closest thing you have to a hub city right now is this place called Ashran, which is a primarily PvP zone where once you go into the combat area of it, you are queued to join the battle, and once you're in the battle, it's a just whole zone of PvP objectives and combat and PvP gear abound. And it's interesting, but it's a very broken system in Ashran, so that's why not a lot of people do it. But there are two neutral zones in Ashran where each faction can basically, not neutral, but like faction-specific zones that are non-combat. So Storm Shield and War Spear are what they're called. And other players can't get in reasonably. There's like tons of guards around them, I think. And those are the closest thing we have to hub cities. But the problem is that not a lot of people are there because, unlike Shrine of Seven Stars, which we were just in, Storm Shield and War Spirit don't have a lot of portals to different cities. So say you want to go to Stormwind to do like a holiday event, or you want to go to Shatrath to do one of these raids or dungeons, there's like no Shatrath portal, for example. There's no expansion portals. There's only like Stormwind and Ironforge and I think the Exodar, and they're all in different places. So Shrine of Seven Stars is actually still most people's Hearthstones once they hit level 100 because it has the most convenient portals around the universe. So there's that, which leads to you seeing fewer people, and since your garrison is instance and everybody just sits in their garrison, you don't like run into players that much. Like while leveling, yes, it's very social. You're seeing people, you're grouping up, and obviously raids are what I'm a big fan of doing, and my friends are, and those are entirely group based. But once you finish the raid, which you do maybe once, twice a week, then you are essentially done for the night, and you spend the rest of the week messing with your garrison and doing your mountain runs and selling stuff on the auction house. So it has devalued player interaction a little bit, but there are rumors that Blizzard is adding a more traditional dual faction hub city soon in this expansion, because Storm Shield and War Spirit like don't feel like cities. Like they're very small and awkwardly designed, and War Spirit in particular is really just an ugly place. It is laid out awkwardly as hell, and they need a place for people of all factions to sort of congregate, so we can at least see other players. Because Wrath of the Lich King, the last expansion that I played before quitting back in the day, had Dalaran, which is like arguably everyone's favorite, like many people's favorite hub city, because it's a flying city. It had every single thing you could need. It had all the portals in pretty convenient places. It had an auction house. It basically had every single thing in one place, and it was dual faction, and there was no, it's obviously not combat allowed. But I'm getting slightly off track from this mountain run. You can see flying above us actually is Alar, who's the Phoenix god, and the mount we're getting out of this fight, if I didn't say it before, is called Ashes of Alar. So you can essentially ride a smaller, miniaturized version of that boss that you're looking at. And it's a very highly sought after mount because it's pretty cool. It's fucking orange and pink and has glowy stuff coming out of it. But also it's got a really low drop rate. I think it's one of the less than 1% ones. And it's just cool. The thing I always say about it, and the reason why I've stopped doing Tempest Keep since this recording is, well, my friend, the friend who I like to brag with my mounts, brag that I have more mounts than him, already got Ashes recently. So I have less reason to want to do it other than just finishing my mount collection. And also getting to Tempest Keep's a pain. As you can see, we had to fly for quite a while to get to it. But Alar here doesn't actually drop the mount. I just like to kill Alar here because it makes me feel complete. It makes me feel like I've fully finished this instance. So he or she is still below us. I think we either go back to fighter or we just move on. So this raid is laid out really interestingly because, oh, there we go, we kill her. It's like laid out in a way that like half of it is technically optional. Like you can run around the corners and then basically make a straight shot to Kael'thas, which is what I do now, obviously, when I do the mountain run. But players back in the day would obviously do all the bosses for gear and whatnot. Purple's delicious purple gear. I don't know why we're still fighting Alar, though. Oh, we turned into a meteor. And he's going to drop meteors on me, which would probably kill me if we were at level, but I don't really pay attention here. I'm taking way too long to kill this fight, to do this fight. Like, it probably doesn't. I could probably one or two shot Alar at this point. Oh, there you go. I got my mind on my money, which is an achievement for, looting 5,000 gold, which, surprisingly, I didn't have before. And I got some weird items. Talon of Alar, I guess that's a trinket. Yeah, it is. Oh, that's interesting. It's a human-only trinket. I didn't know that. And then, some other trash. And then I, of course, obsessively sort my bags again with that really bad bag sorting add-on. So we progress along. I was talking about Draenor before, and how it has removed the social element slightly from the game, which a lot of people don't like. I personally, I don't play the game to meet people. So, like, when I PvP, I don't really talk to random strangers much, unless I really need to. If I'm doing heroics, I will, because I play healer in heroic dungeons usually. And, you know, sometimes people are bad and you need to give them some shit for it. And then in raids, obviously, we're all on Ventrilo and we're all friends. So, like, the game is social enough for me. And when I want to do old content, I always do it with a group of friends on Skype. So, like, the stuff that I'm doing is entirely social, as much as I want. But I totally understand the argument that if the game is called massively, it's a massively multiplayer online RPG, it's weird that you're very rarely interacting with the massively multiplayer aspect of it. So you can see here we are engaging Kael'thas Sunstrider and his band of merry folk. This fight is a little frustrating, especially to do today, because no matter how high level you are, this is one of the ones that requires you to wait. You can't just run up to him and kill him, so he has to talk for a bit before the fight officially starts, and then he throws his dudes at you, which I now need to kill. He throws them at you one at a time, so right now you get the Ladrid, the Darkener, who is going to go down pretty quickly. I just sit here and talk for a while for some reason. I don't know why I don't kill him. Oh, I did do damage. So then he introduces the next one spawns, or the next one, like, becomes attackable. Kill that person. Next one becomes attackable, etc. Rinse and repeat. So it's actually a very slow fight, regardless of how powerful you are. So I'm just knocking these dudes out. This was a 25-man raid back in Burning Crusade. Here is, what's her name? Grand Astromancer something. Well, she's dead now. And the final one, Telonicus, Master Engineer Telonicus. Got some cool shoulder armor, though, for sure. And then we're going to take him out, and bada bing, he is down. So, now comes a weird part of the fight, where Kael'thas, resurrects the weapons of all of his fallen comrades, and the weapons fight you, which is only interesting here because I'm just going to AoE them all down. All of the weapons drop when they die, when they quote die, and you can loot them, and they are technically legendary quality weapons. So you can see right there, they are orange quality, which means that they're legendaries. So you're like, oh crap, he just dropped 6 legendary items: a dagger, a staff, a axe, shield, and I think a polearm. The way that you were supposed to do this dungeon back in the day is, I guess you picked 6 people to loot those, and then within this dungeon you can use those to fight Kael'thas. So you can take the weapons of his fallen comrades and fight him. But don't get too excited, because those are temporary legendaries, and as soon as you leave Tempest Keep, they disappear from your inventory. So that's a bummer. It's sort of like in Encourage, how there's 5 mounts in Encourage, but only one of them can be taken outside of the dungeon, and it has it's like the lowest drop rate in the game or something. I might actually be mentioning that here when I was doing this. This part really sucks. So you'll have downed his friends, you down the weapons. You now, because we finished the fight so fast, his phase hasn't shifted yet, so he hasn't gone to the next part of the fight. So we have to wait 10 more seconds for him to just talk and talk. Such a chatty fight, such an annoying fight to try to rush through. And then I believe he resurrects all of his people. And this part is also very frustrating, yeah. So, I believe 2 of them cast forms of stuns on you. I believe the mage, the Astromancer, casts a stun, which is what I have on me right now. One of them casts a silence, so you can't cast any spells. One of them casts like a root, so you can't move. They're all very frustrating. And the best way to handle this fight is to use all your AoEs the second they spawn, and the second you're not disoriented, because you have like a second of free time between stuns usually and silences. So you just gotta do those and focus on the mage first, and they all go down pretty simply. It's just you also get thrown around and shit. It's like a weird fight for that reason. And Kael'thas is actually not active during this part, which is interesting, I guess. So, yeah, disoriented again. It's very annoying. You really just need to get them down fast if you don't want to have to deal with this. I obviously wasn't doing enough damage to make this go by quickly when I was running this before. But at this point, you can pretty much one-shot each of them. So there you go. They're all down. And now, except one, I think. Oh no, now we pulled the ads from the other room. And also Kael'thas is going to start fighting us. So this is the official fight, right? This is when you actually fight him. And he is immune, sort of, for a couple seconds. He barely, does anything. And then something cool happens. Let's not spoil it. We're going to keep killing these ads and keep trying to kill him. Here he is. He's going to run back. He's going to say some crap. What does he say? I have not come this far to be stopped. The future I have planned will not be jeopardized. You will taste true power. Siphon some energy from some crystals, as the boss tends to do. And Kael'thas, get down from there with your weird glowy black goop. And then he shatters the raid open. So technically now you're floating through space, I guess. And he's absorbing dark energy and getting crazy. So this is also why he gets resurrected in Magister's Terrace, I think. I don't know the full lore of Kael'thas, although I did find him kind of interesting back in the day. Obviously enough to get his Hawkstrider mount. And then he drops down finally, and you can blast him pretty quickly, and that's the end of the fight. It's a long fight. This is definitely the longest episode that we have of this Mount Run series. But he dies pretty quickly, so there you go. Oh, then he throws you up, and he's down. Or supposedly. So you can loot him. He will not drop Ashes of Alar for me. I have since stopped doing this raid just because that fight is so not fun. It's a once a week because it's a raid, and that's the gist of it. Next time on How Modern Plays, what do we have next? What's next on the docket, folks? Oh, we have a fun one next. You'll enjoy this. So stay tuned, and tomorrow we will down more bosses and potentially get more mounts.